All I've done? All I've got? Everything I am? Sometimes I'd trade it all for a little quiet. That Ido is whip smart, let me tell you. Little sister's going places. Vanguard still got that crown? What the hell for? Things not getting any less creepy. Fun times down in the eliksni quarter. Sometimes I wish I was an exo. A memory wipe sounds real good about now. A year's a long time to be on ice. Too bad Aramis thawed out, huh? So, the Hive's got the light. Always knew we wouldn't be the only ones, but I didn't think it'd be them. Anyone who says I'm shady never met Marasov. I'm glad Spider's in the city now. Takes the heat off of me. You all talk about what you've lost. Let me tell you, live as long as me, and there'll come a time when you've lost so much you won't even have the words. Hey, you think Crow's still in a twist over that whole Aldrin thing? All that time on Europa? All that darkness? Still don't know what we could do against even one of those pyramids. I wonder if anyone in House Light knows how to play cards. Keep an eye on the sky, hero. All this glimmer's worthless if we're dead. Mithrax? Mesrax? Yeah, either way, I guess. Never thought I'd see Spider in the last city. Wild times. Valus Forge. I bet Saladin's been called worse things. Making friends with the Cabal and the eliksni? Ha! What's next? The Vex? Ha ha! Just kidding. No chance. You ever tried ether fizz, hero? That'll put hair on your tongue. Let me tell you, Guardian, just be who you are, not who you have to be. You get me? Hero? Get rid of these Hive before I get another knife in the back.
The hall between.
Keep all 4 eyes peeled, little sister. There's some creepy goings-on in this neighborhood. That's right, little sister. If it walks and talks, I've either shot 'em dead or beat 'em at cards. So they reckon eternal life and cosmic power are curses? Huh, sounds like jealousy to me.
Which is why I suspect it was human sorcery that created the headless ones.
Maybe. But being 5 meters tall and shooting flames out of your mouth seems like a Cabal fantasy, not a curse.
According to legend, the Exos beheaded themselves, driven to irrationality by the Vex.
That summoning circle's a trap for sure. Sounds like fun.
Glint hypothesized that the Headless Ones were a product of Hive necromancy, but there's no evidence of Hive in this sector. Do you think it might be possible that the Headless Ones are actually some form of Taken?
That's a hard sell, crab cakes. They look an awful lot like Hive wearing fancy masks to me.
These ritual circles must call the Headless Ones.
I don't blame you. Crow and Glint are good guys, but they get confused sometimes. These pumpkin boys are a good time, but they keep some pretty crap company.
Maybe their transformation began before they came to Europa. Perhaps even before they became Exos. I can safely conclude that the Headless Ones are not of eliksni origin. And yet here they are. Perhaps their proximity to the Exodus Black is relevant. Let's investigate those mysterious ritual circles. It's another poorly named Headless One.
Hell, that wouldn't surprise me. Humans love making things with giant, creepy heads. Just look at Clovis Bray.
Cabal legends also tell of the Headless Ones. Their tales say the monsters are cursed by the shame of defeat. How did these monsters end up on Earth? Why do they only appear at a certain time of year? Before those unfortunate Exos came here, they were normal humans, just like Drifter. Some eliksni say that after the battle, the House of Dusk commander rose as a Taken. Whatever lured the beheaded Exos to this location is likely still around. Be vigilant, Guardian.
I wouldn't put too much trust in that screwball AI. Half the time she lies, and the other half, she forgets to tell the truth. Let's check the loot on these Headless Ones, hero.
And admittedly, There is some evidence to support that conclusion. He thinks the Hive created them, but I have my doubts. This sector has produced a high volume of Headless One sightings. However, the presence of the anomaly made first-hand accounts unreliable.
I ain't mad we're doing things the hard way. This crew put a lot of good guardians in the ground. It's time for payback.
I agree. The evidence keeps leading me away from the Hive and back to the ancient human ritual of the Hall Between.
I doubt it. Taken ain't got no fashion sense, but these headless fellas got style. It takes confidence to pull off purple flames. And here I thought you were a pacifist.
And they swore eternal vengeance on Cabal and Guardians alike. I agree. That part of them seems distinctly human.
Not for long. Let your ammo do the talking, hero.
It would support a theory of a human origin and the ancient ritual of the Hall Between. You once interrupted a battle here between Cabal and eliksni forces.
Matter of fact, wearing new faces used to be a big part of this ancient human ritual.
Another Headless One? What fortune!
Normal human. Hell, that's the best compliment anyone's given me in a century.
The eliksni here seem to have established a relationship with the Headless Ones. I wonder if they can communicate.
Trust, crab cakes. The Guardian killed a god once. Several, in fact. Ain't nothing in here they can't handle. I don't know what that circle summons, but let's find out. That's a hell of a tale, but it don't make one mote of sense. I got a whole ship full of taken, all shapes and sizes.
So Glint's reports of the Headless Ones are true. Not that I doubted him, but he and Crow do have a flair for the dramatic. Thanks for your protection, Guardian. I'm following up on Glint's research into the Headless Ones. Glint suspects that the Headless Ones were created by Hive sorcery, but I now doubt his conclusions. We're dealing with forces unknown. Driftwood. Prudence is not uncalled for.
These Headless Ones are even uglier in person. Not a single one of them has a flaming pumpkin noggin. Maybe. But chopping off your own head only gets you halfway to a flaming pumpkin night.
And nearly accurate. Eliksni legends say that after the Guardian defeated Faison of House Dusk, the captain was abducted and returned as taken. If they didn't create those monsters, then what did?
You gotta hand it to the Cabal. They got one-track minds. Everything comes back to honor, victory, and the size of their tusks.
Cursed to eternal unrest for their defeat.
That don't make a lick of sense. If the Cabal turned immortal just by getting their butts kicked, they'd be as old as me by now.
I'm grateful for your assistance, Guardian. I'm investigating Glint's questionable reports on the Headless Ones. Victory was near until they were betrayed and transformed into Taken. And as a scribe, I intend to follow the evidence wherever it leads. They were less than accommodating. Drifter, you've encountered all manner of creatures in the Sol system, correct? Is it possible that the Headless Ones are really Cabal afflicted by some kind of curse?
Agreed. Too few arms, not enough eyes.
I can definitely conclude that the Headless Ones are neither eliksni nor Cabal. I'm beginning to suspect that they're human in origin. The few Cabal willing to speak on the subject say that the monsters are disgraced Red Legionnaires. That's precisely why I'm here. I'm beginning to think that Glint was wrong about the origins of the Headless Ones.
Anomaly, hell. You can't trust a moon miner on the best of days. Damn cheats.
Exactly my point. Donning masks for cosmetic purposes is not a Hive custom.
I doubt it. Everything about 'em screams Hive, except for that big, beautiful head. These Fallen jumped a fire team a while back and did 'em real dirty, head removal-wise.
The eliksni tell tales of Faison, captain of House Dusk, who fought valiantly against both Cabal and Lightbearer in this very cave. I interviewed several of Empress Keidel's retainers in the tower. They believe the Headless Ones are Red Legionnaires, trapped by an eternal curse. And what does it have to do with the ancient human ritual known as the Hall Between? The same can be said for those frequenting Gambit, I think. Rumors persist that they were lured here by a malignant Vex mind.
That ain't how I remember it.
This facility was something of a pilgrimage site for wayward exos. I attempted to contact the eliksni within this sector, hoping to gain their insights on the Headless Ones.
I don't know if that has a damn thing to do with these headless fellas, but it sure makes my trigger finger itch.
But Vanguard records show that after you left, strange monsters began haunting the battlefield. Failsafe claims that the Headless Ones were the result of hive experiments.
No wonder Cade loved these guys.
So, in your expert opinion, could the Headless Ones be eliksni or Cabal transformed somehow?
Boy, these fellas sure know how to throw a welcome party. They packed their heads with confetti and everything.
However, this mission has created more questions than answers.
Now, after so much wandering, it's hard to believe that there's real ground beneath us and a real sky above. Though the Scourge claimed to fight for eliksni empowerment, in reality, they represented the final degradation of our culture. I understand the city used to have an official speaker, a sort of cleric who spoke to the great machine's will. We know this is not true, of course, but it helps hatchlings to rest peacefully. The first time that Guardians and Houselights stood united under the great machine against a common enemy. I discovered this shell among spider supplies. Many eliksni fear Guardians, but delight at your ghosts. My research with the Awoken suggested that humans revered it as we do. I lived for many years among the Awoken, and understand that humans do good things as well, sometimes. It's one of the few things that all eliksni houses can agree on. Together, we may yet prevent a second collapse. The light provides. Now, ruthless leaders like Spider use the distribution of ether to keep their followers dependent. However, human records state that role was abandoned after Dominus Gaul sacked the city. Many eliksni believe that humanity takes the great machine's blessings for granted, just as we once did. Perhaps they're right. In many ways, the House of Light is traditional. We worship the great machine and we embrace ancestral roles like splicers and scribes. With the darkness approaching, we will need each other more than ever. Having lost our grounding, catches evolved from modes of transportation into permanent homes. But the great machine has chosen them, so I must give them the benefit of my faith. Hopefully this effort does not go wasted. Nezarec found me in the vent of a wrecked ship, you know. We joke that my father is a splicer and my mother is a catch. This instability puts Nezarec in a difficult position. Many in our house were against coming here, but they trusted my father's judgment. However, Nezarec also believes in peace and cooperation with humanity. This is less popular. After that, the ward changes meanings. For grown eliksni, it's a reminder that the great machine blesses life givers and killers alike. Luckily, we have enough ether reserves to last until repairs are made, but this is a worrying sign. Most of those houses are now extinct, and their members are scattered. Eliksni houses are more than tribes for sharing work and resources. They also represent living philosophies. Even after eliksni began to resettle in places like the Reef, we never lost our reverence for the machines that kept us alive. To leave the great machine without a representative among the people seems heretical. But as a scribe, I know better. The accusations Lakshmi makes against us are mostly true. Eliksni have raided the last city for centuries. Ether also catalyzes physical maturation and promotes molting. In that sense, it's like hormones in human adolescence. And in all of our exploration, we never found anything more wondrous than the great machine. It's a story our hatchlings will hear for many centuries, but it does not end here. She's in need of constant repair, but we're used to it. Our house has fixed every part of her, from sensors to exhaust. Humans think of ether as food for eliksni, a form of sustenance. That's only partially true. As scribe for the House of Light, it's my job to preserve our house's history, so that hatchlings may one day learn our stories. Some eliksni tell hatchlings that these wards keep guardians from attacking us in our sleep. I'm sure that guardians feel the same way about their tower. It's more than a hollow form, more than the rubble it was built from. That's why shrines like these are made of many small pieces. Each bit was added by a different house. It's a tradition that lasted generations. However, my personal observations have not supported that conclusion. They were driven not only by desperation, but by unspoken resentment at the great machine's abandonment. But the longer we stay here, the more we wonder if anyone is in charge of this city. Your leaders do not seem to have the loyalty of the people. Nezarec requested that I leave some records for the humans of the last city, so they might learn about eliksni culture in their own time. Now his messages of tolerance and forgiveness appear naive. Perhaps this was the attacker's goal. I'm surprised humans would destroy a representation of the great machine. A once great interstellar civilization was reduced to an anarchist mob, led by a power-hungry coward. Eliksni have had their blessings from the great machine, it's true, but we've never known the power that ghosts grant humanity. Guardians throw their lives away for sport, in games like Crucible or Gambit, taking the miracle of resurrection for granted. Let ours be a cautionary tale. No matter how enlightened a culture, there are always those who prey on our worst impulses for their own gain. Everyone in our house has seen eliksni killed by guardians. Not just warriors, but innocents and hatchlings. In a world of unlimited ether, like Rees before the whirlwind, all eliksni look like captains. That's our final form. I believe this is the war strategy humans call poisoning the town well. This shank has been with us for many years. She's temperamental, but loyal. During our golden age, the eliksni civilization spanned many star systems, farther than humanity could imagine. If eliksni are ever to live in peace, we must make ether available to all, regardless of rank. I will learn what I can from your cryptarchs, just as I did with the awoken Techians. Hopefully, our combined knowledge will be sufficient. But in other ways we're different. My father Nezarec is Kel of our house, but he does not act as past Kels. So when I look at her, I don't see an object. I see the members of my house. I see myself. To us, machines are vessels, not just tools. After the whirlwind, many eliksni were overcome by feelings of hopelessness. They were homeless, hungry, and hunted by guardians and hive alike. Eliksni may not be blessed with eternal life like the Guardians, but Mizrax Kel has proven that we are valuable allies. The tower is the keeper of the Vanguard spirit, and you would defend it more fiercely than any other building. Is it not so? So when Civics founded Kel's Scourge, promising to return Eliksni to power with ancient weaponry, many were drawn to his call. Most eliksni you see now are underdeveloped. They're forever stunted by ether rationing, which began as a necessity and gradually evolved into a mechanism of social control. When we arrived here, we were surprised to discover that many guardians treat their ghosts like equals, or worse, like servants. I don't think this tradition will continue in the House of Light. We no longer see guardians as monsters, just people, frightened and misguided. I think that if eliksni became guardians, we would use the light to serve the great machine, not our own amusement. As he says, inside a ketch, everyone breathes the same air. He does not take more than his share of ether, and he does not punish by docking limbs. These are radical, but popular ideas in our house. We think of them as extensions of the great machine's will, deserving of reverence. As if ghosts needed the humans and not the other way around. Here lies the remnants of Kel's Scourge, a dark period in eliksni history. This is a great moment for eliksni and humanity alike. But the others in the House of Light have not been so lucky in their allies as I have. It will take time to earn their trust. Though I have doubts that the humans will care to hear our stories, the snipers who look down on us do not seem like the curious types. Many eliksni spend their whole lives on ships. They become more than a home. They're like a member of the family. When Ikora Rey offered us refuge, we assumed she had the authority to do so. The House of Light tries to unify eliksni with humanity, not against them, and this is how we are received. This sharing of hatred, as my father would say, is disappointing but not unexpected. Some eliksni believe that guardians prey on us without reason. This is why scrapworking is so important to eliksni culture. It's a way of sharing our spirit with the world, even when we have nothing. But now that we have seen the guardians among their own people, taking orders and making awkward small talk, soon enough they must learn that the guardians cannot be stopped by such things, that they cannot be stopped at all, even by death. Every Kel since the Whirlwind has tried to unify eliksni in opposition to humanity. This war-like mentality has been a weakness. Hello, my name is Ido. My father is Mizrax, Kel of our house. I took my name from his first awoken friend, Sir Ido. After the fall of our homeworld Reese, eliksni scattered across the stars. It's funny, I revered the great machine all my life, without ever having seen it. And now that it's right overhead, I still look to this shrine for comfort.
Bring me Arha. I have a task for him. We've done well together. Let's keep the glimmer flowing. Tell me all the bloody details. My dear Lady Alderdice, if the 7 stars won't have you, why should I? It's a shame you'll never be properly introduced to some of my most prized possessions. I can't risk it. You understand. Greetings, my stalwart friend. Nice of you to drop by in between bouts of killing Scorn. This city has real potential. If only the Vanguard could see it. You've done right by me, friend. I won't forget that. Is this a friendly visit? Or are you here to talk business? Guardians never cease to amuse. Good. Good. Friends should visit each other. Do you have need of my associates again? Greetings, my elegant friend. Take a seat. Make yourself comfortable. You're always welcome in my city. No matter how far you go, you always come back to the spider. Well, look who it is. My favorite guardian. Many of my misguided fallen brethren still attempt to fight. I prefer a more mutually beneficial relationship. Easier to stay alive that way. Sometimes I miss the shore. This city has too much bureaucracy. These figures aren't right. Feels like Drifter's been at my books again. Greetings, my slippery friend. Always happy to have a customer of such means. Until we meet again. Don't worry, I had it thoroughly cleaned. Your glimmer is always welcome here. I had to kill a man to acquire that. I'm kidding. I didn't have to kill him. That's the problem with House Light. None of them have any glimmer to gamble. So many questions. I'm becoming offended. You don't want to see me offended. My scouts report another downed catch. Dispatch the salvage team. The Drifter? Here? And he didn't say hello? How disappointing. No one has called me Wolf in a very long time. I was born into that house yet. But even then I knew a bad investment when I saw one. How regrettable. Well, business is business. That's a rare piece indeed. Treasure it. Bring me Avrok. I have a task for him. Good choice, my friend. Nothing as profitable as pain and suffering. Marvelous. Such a shame about Kate 6. He was always good for a laugh, was he not? And a speedy bullet. Yeah. I weep for all the profitable alliances that will never be. Tell him I'm listening, but not for long. You may go. I never asked to be close to the Great Machine. Feels like I'm being watched. Marvelous. Oh, you have an eye for craftsmanship. It's the law of commerce. I am the supply, and I make the demands. I'm eager to continue our friendship. What is your Earth phrase? If we meet again? My little bird isn't so little anymore, huh? Business improves daily. I am quite pleased. A quality accessory. Don't keep me waiting. Business is good. I'm making a killing. Here for a favor. How soon until that is stained with blood? What does my guardian need? Let's make a deal. Oh, I miss Varix. Did you know the Awoken really believed that ridiculous accent of his? Yeah. He had them wrapped around his claws. If you're eager to deal death, I'm happy to help. Don't be shy. It bores me. Always room in my home for another guardian friend. First impressions are very important. Excellent, excellent. Welcome, my friend. It suits you, my friend. My road crews are having a hell of a time on Earth. It's a scrapper's paradise. I'm glad your righteousness doesn't extend to commerce. You never cease to amuse, my friend. Better a baron than a Kel. That's still true, at least. I leave it in your capable hands. Let's make each other rich, Guardian. I do enjoy your visits. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. Treasure that, my friend. Look after your ghost. It would be quite a shame if he joined my collection. Are you here to gawk or do business? If you find something worthwhile, come to me first. I do enjoy hearing of your achievements. Come now, I don't bite. I have people to do that for me. Another vice shipment gone missing. Oh, tell our friends we can offer them protection for a price. Ah, my guardian friend. Greetings, my broad-shouldered friend. I trust no one but you with this. It sounds delightful. I want it. Make it happen. May the light provide. And what has it provided me exactly? I'm not a patient spider. If Mara's looking for me, tell her I'm not in. Or I'm dead. Maybe both. A fine selection. I've heard rumors of a guardian with a bloody sword. Is that you? I'm sure we can find something mutually agreeable. If you want something, speak up. Hey, send that shipment up to the tower. Tell them it's from Mithrax. I think you'll find our friendship agreeable. Greetings, my crafty friend. All these guardians running around. Makes me long for the quiet sophistication of a band of dregs. I think the Awoken will find my prices are the best prices. Very good. I heard my brother Civix caused a bit of trouble here. Nothing the Guardians couldn't handle, of course. Shall we make a deal? Happy hunting out there. Don't like being so close to all these Guardians. Too many flies in my web. I'm always open to a new deal. How about a drink, Guardian? You look thirsty. Surely a Guardian must always keep his word. Surely a Guardian must always keep her word. What catches your eye? What can a simple operator like me do for the hero of the Vanguard? You have good taste. I'll make it worth your while. Ah, that Tess Everest. She's a girl after my own heart. Greetings, my clever friend. Business waits for no one. Not even you. Quid pro quo. You'll be the envy of the tower. A poor investment. A poor investment indeed. How awful! Tell me more. Any news from my salvage team? I want that loot. I approve. I have just the thing for someone with such violent tastes. I wonder whom you've killed today. Tell me what you found. It's only fair to give me the right of first refusal.
Iron Banner Clash.
I've been trying to determine what exactly is inside these reliquaries, but I dare not open them. Guardian, we intercepted another of Aramis Kell's transmissions, this time to the pirate lord Eliks. The many tombs of Nezarec are well known, though the being itself is less thoroughly documented.
The darkness inside would dissolve you before you could ever wield it against the Hive.
I understand the relics now. The potency of their darkness, and Aramis Kell's use of the old pirate crews to hunt them. Even my father's reticence. Beyond that, the sources are vague. They hint at a process for harnessing the relic's power, but give no instructions. Now that we've collected all the relics, nezarec and I believe that we could harness their power. To what end, we're still uncertain. The reporting Guardian said that eliksni crews were infighting over what he called, quote, chunks of rotting meat. Of course, I don't give credence to such superstition. Dark Age humans were comically ignorant. Still, I would rather not take the risk. If we could replicate this ancient methodology, there's no telling what we might accomplish. I've searched for information on Nezarec and the Cryptarchy's records, but most of the primary sources from that era were destroyed. Your latest mission unearthed another intercepted transmission. It seems pertinent to our research. What we know from second-hand accounts is that Nezarec led the Witness's first assault on Earth, or as humans call it, the collapse. However, I did manage to secure a centuries-old Vanguard mission report from the Cryptarchy.
Do not open the relic under any circumstance. I don't care if the whole lucent brood is outside.
I'll leave records of my findings here. Come by after you recover a new reliquary to learn what I've discovered.
Only beings of extraordinary fortitude can withstand its energies, and we both know you're less than that. Retreat and fortify your defenses. Protect the relic at all costs. Reinforcements are on the way. Deliver the relic as agreed, and I will overlook your attempts to extort me.
Your last raid yielded a surprising fragment of intel. This was found in the pirate hideout, along with the relic.
Do it, or face the wrath of a power you cannot imagine.
I believe Aramis Kell references the Witness. Perhaps she really has abandoned her calls for eliksni unity.
It is finally time for the eliksni to take their rightful place in the Sol system. We've struggled for too long under the boot heels of others.
The report is of dubious quality, but it did make me wonder if the relic could be biological in nature.
You forget your place, Eliks. I am no longer the ship stealer. I am a Kell, and your obedience is my right.
My father disagrees. I suspect he wishes to redeem himself for his past wrongs, and in that, I cannot dissuade him. Spectral analysis indicates trace amounts of darkness energies radiating from within the vessel.
But no longer. This system will soon enter a new age, one of eliksni prosperity. Be sure you're on the right side of it, Eliks.
I wonder what the Witness promised Aramis Kell in exchange for the relics. Clearly it was a persuasive offer. I will delve into the Cryptarchy's records and see what I can uncover. Our parley with Aramis Kell has changed everything, though not in the way I had hoped. This leads me to deduce that the relic itself is likely quite powerful, and potentially harmful if handled directly. An ancient dirge I discovered describes something called the Curse of Nezarec, which is rumored to drain the life of the user. But this is not about the House of Light. This is about the mysterious disciple.
Hive and Cabal rain artillery down upon us. The Vex steal every last scrap for themselves, and the Lightbearers hunt us for sport.
The resulting surge of darkness energies would have unforeseeable effects on my physiology. We will continue searching for a method to unlock the relics. Until then, the light provides. While I believe in our abilities, I am concerned about the potential side effects such a process could have. Guardian, the artifact you recovered from the Pirate Lord's hideout has incredible research potential. However, the reliquary is made of a super dense substance, like a lead barrier around uranium. After the Great Machine repelled the attack, Nezarec's pyramid crash-landed on your moon.
What? We had a deal. I will not be leveraged by an amateur extortionist.
About that. First, let's discuss the matter of our hazard pay.
Who's that? Drifter? Is that you?
Who the hell's calling the shots around here? What'd you say they're looking for? Come on now, Spider. I'll treat her like she was my own.
Do me a favor, Guardian. Don't let this clown pilot my catch. You let the Guardian see me like this? We'll have words once I'm out of here.
Now I just need you to get in there and expedite my shipment.
My associates will join you along the way. Give them a lift, and we'll call it even. There's something you should know. I overheard some dregs talking. Sounds like you found my remaining crew. Help them clear out this rabble. They're looking for something left over from the Dark Ages. Useful if you're pinned down. Imagine the resale value. House Salvation is rallying. Someone's kicked the hornet's nest.
Sure thing, boss. We'll just ship you back to the Tangled Shore.
Meet the rest of my associates. They're no good to me dead. Make sure to bring them back alive.
Only thing you better worry about is the welcome you'll get back in the last city. Let's ride, Guardian. That must be the big boss in charge. Take him out, hero. Luckily, we got a clean ship and a dirty crew to chase her with. Couldn't have been easy after their head honcho got turned into a popsicle. You weren't lying about these House Salvation jokers. They're all riled up.
Relics. Antiquities of some kind. So, the ship stealer is back in play. The artifact she's after.
Queen Mara's got a handsome bounty on your ugly mug. Could be quite the payday. I don't blame House Salvation for skimming a little cream off the trade routes. Getting warmer. Our misappropriated shipment is just ahead. That's awfully esoteric for a bunch of rubes like these. They gotta be taking orders from someone. Well, you were hiding in your kennel, but I didn't think they'd have the guts to try something like this.
Tell you what, House Salvation commandeered my old catch. If you can fight your way there, it's yours.
Once we get my cargo back, you'll see what I mean. Oh, hell. The witness must have broken Aramis out. No wonder House Salvation's scrambling. Thanks for helping your old pal Drifter with this delicate situation, hero. Sounds ominous, but I'm sure the Guardian can handle it.
That's what I'm worried about. That's Hall 6, one of my trusted associates. He's deadly with a wire rifle.
Price of her freedom, I bet. I'll let you know what we're looking for once you're inside. I'm there in spirit, boss. I Finessed the Guardian into doing the actual rescuing. Hear that, hero? We got ourselves a new ride. Just gotta break it out of impound. I had a delivery headed toward the last city when these House Salvation goons hijacked it.
Just can't keep those rotten taken away, can we? Drive them out, make them regret coming back. I'm picking up more taken signals in the area. Must be drawn to the fire. You gotta handle them or this party's over. Damn it. More taken are showing up on my scanners. Hunt them down or that bonfire'll never grow. Welcome to the EAZ. Seems like we got some uninvited guests. Why don't you clear them on out of here? We got a bonfire to build. Floating island in the sky. Gotta say, Ikora's always full of surprises. Show those squatters the door and get this party started. Good news and bad news. The fire's big and tall, but so's our newest visitor. Cut him down to size and throw those leaves on the fire. Now that's a bonfire, but we ain't celebrating yet. We got one more guest to deal with before we can toss the leaves onto the flames. Heads up, someone's trying to rain on our parade. Well, I ain't having that. Send them packing and light that fire. Looks like the Taken want some of that fire for themselves. Knock them down a peg so we can keep the festivities going. You know, every fire burns out eventually. Took me a while to realize it, but that's what makes them beautiful. I guess that's what solstice is all about. Fires are funny things. Burn everything they touch. Keep us warm, too. Can't have one without the other. Remember that next time you feel the heat. It's about to get pretty crowded up here. Take whatever these guys got on them and add it to the fire. Take out one batch of party crashers and another one shows up on the porch. Kick them off. Well, that's all of the Taken, and there's more fuel for the fire, right on time. You know what to do. Woo! Those flames are burning hot, Guardian. Now take out that last ugly, so we can toss in the leaves and enjoy the fire. We've got additional Taken inbound. Find them and force them off this island. We've got company, but I bet their ordnance would make for some good lighter fuel. Toss it onto the fire. Took some work, but you did it. I guess nothing worth having comes easy. But that's why we have to celebrate what we got. Enjoy the bonfire. Taken, incoming. Our bonfire won't grow as long as they're sapping all of its energy. You best put a stop to them. I should have known the Taken would show up. We can't build the fire while they're draining its energy. Light them up. Nice work, but we got more hostiles on the way. Let's get to it, Guardian. The Taken are being drawn in again, like moths to the... flame. Time to snuff them out. Woo, that was bad.
Halsix is tagging in as your spotter, hero.
You claim piety, even as you plunder.
The skiff blades grant their bravery to your fight.
They could have just started with me for a small commission.
That's good work, hero. We sent that crew packing and got a full treasure haul to boot. I never get tired of watching people bank those moats. I've heard better ideas, big boss. You poke your head up and Queen Mara might just take it off.
Move the treasure haul forward before we are overrun. Looks like we hit the mother lode. Snatch it up while you can.
I know a mark when I see one. Bag that Cabal.
It pains me to think on such things, for they are undoubtedly true. Pirates are more cunning than I anticipated.
You were my subordinate then, and you remain so now. Our operation is disrupted. Locate the jammer nearby and destroy it. I thought your raiding days were over, Mithrax.
I'm sorry, but I must interject. This loot is earmarked for the eliksni quarter.
I'll take that as a compliment, crab cakes.
Halsix volunteered as your lookout, Guardian. Osiris is still not well, but I have a feeling he can sense what goes on around him. It would comfort him to hear you.
Secure the loot quickly. That's what you Guardians call it, correct? Loot?
Our drill will attract attention. Be ready for battle.
That fella's making off with our loot. Get him!
At least people will have more glimmer to gamble, I suppose.
Everyone has regrets, Mescal. I've learned this studying beneath the Great Machine.
Pride is a sickness that killed the younger nezarec, as it will kill you in time.
Well done, hero. We got what we came for. Now it's time to celebrate.
They are more trusted than one who would empower the voice in the darkness. I wonder what other treasures are lying around this place.
Pirates are jamming our drill. Take out their equipment.
Treasure spills forth, but it will not last long. Secure it immediately. Earth suffered the collapse, just as Rees suffered the whirlwind. Such scars never fade. With a light bearer beside us, we have nothing to fear.
Now let's sniff out this loot, hero.
I'm already imagining the specs on my new ship. Something Reef made, maybe.
You scrabble in the ice, looking for baubles and trinkets. But you're ignorant to the true power I seek.
Your crewmates lend their blades to your cause.
That's correct. It was once the most powerful intelligence in the Sol system, and it commanded an enormous arsenal.
Got a good tip on some loot buried around here. Let's secure the dig site.
We have. When our mission concludes, I will call on yourself and Osiris again. How is he?
I'm not angry about what my father did. I'm angry that he didn't tell me sooner. And I'm not ready to forgive him yet.
It is no longer that way beneath the Great Machine. We will help other eliksni before ourselves. Unseen opponents hinder our drill. Dispatch them. So this is the famous cosmodrome. I knew Guardians were walking corpses, but I didn't expect such a graveyard. Commerce has a way of mending all wounds. After all, nezarec and I are friends again, aren't we?
Our efforts are being halted by remote jammers. How ingenious. Well done, Guardian. It's clear you've been to Nessus many times. I'd like to see the lakes of Radiolaria someday.
That's a nice score, hero. That'll teach these crews not to litter on our planet.
Was that so difficult? Come by my bar sometime. I'll teach you to gamble. Ever since we dispelled the endless night, I feel an unease near the Vex domains.
There's treasure buried in these hills, hero. Let's dig it out.
In my experience, survivors are those who help themselves. Our enemies are sabotaging our treasure haul. Eliminate them. A bountiful haul. Gather the riches while they last.
The skiff blades fight alongside you.
They are only wretches, but the skiff blades are as brave as any. Really? That must be the most valuable engram in the whole system. Priceless. Who has it now, did you say? We have done well. The area is secure. We will use it to turn the eliksni quarter from a refuge into a home.
Our cargo hold's looking pretty bare, hero. Let's get that treasure haul rolling. You got a big ball of ether coming to back you up, hero.
Your vandal friend will make your precision shots more precise.
The privateers we vanquished in a cache nearby. We must locate it. Some crew flew all the way out here to bury their treasure. Damn waste of time.
Good job, hero. Watching you snatch up that loot reminded me of Gambit.
I sense an opportunity. Secure that Cabal. Don't worry, young Ido. The poor unfortunates will get their cut. But the captain always gets first pick, nezarec, Kel?
Radiolaria has much to teach us. It's home to the greatest metaconsciousness in the known universe.
Calm your mandibles. We got a hero of the Vanguard here to protect us.
Guardian, your victory will provide much-needed supplies to the eliksni of the last city. We thank you. These riches are for the eliksni of the last city, not for your debauchery.
But we are going to use this newfound wealth to help the people of the city, correct? Well done, Guardian. Though I must admit my taste for pirate hijinks has diminished in light of recent revelations.
We have found a rich treasure trove. Collect it quickly, Guardian. A jammer disrupts our efforts. Dispose of it. Of course. But the time may come for you to step up.
Please do not discuss these matters in my presence. The ethics of such operations are unthinkable. But after the Dark Fleet arrived, its consciousness was transferred into an engram.
When this wealth disappears into the pockets of your accomplices, young scribe, remember this moment.
Aw, don't be a spoil sport, Captain Kel. Even charity ought to be a little fun.
You know, Drifter, with the armies you assembled for Gambit, you could be very political.
It's more dazzling than you can imagine, Big Boss. But good luck picking that lock.
Well, the eliksni could build many things with such abundant materials.
I have unfortunate news, my friend. The Spider is a member of our crew, and now lives in the eliksni quarter. If you want to be a real scribe, you better learn to hear the truth.
This has been a most enlightening and, yes, profitable venture.
Uh-oh. The Vex put a target on your back?
There's more than one way to dock a drag. Quit wasting time, Guardian. Get that treasure haul on the move. There's a drill staged nearby. Clear the area, and we'll begin excavation.
If I recall, we got a couple of the baubles you're after back at the helm already.
Luckily for you, Spider, the eliksni are moving beyond mere survival to an era of prosperity.
Seems inefficient. If I could have Vex delivered right to your ship, what would that be worth?
It will not be in our hands for long. These riches are an investment in the eliksni quarter. Those improvements will be to your benefit since you're now a resident there. Is it not so?
Well, a hero's only as strong as his enemies. That makes you a certified superstar.
Savathun made that a less distinguished title than it used to be.
Our ship's servitor will bolster your allies' defenses. Many scholars consider the Vex the most advanced civilization in the known universe, surpassing even the eliksni of Reese.
Hal-6 rifle is at your command.
I look on the desolation of the cosmodrome, and I wonder how relics of darkness could possibly help us. This is not a business venture. We are gathering resources for the care of our people.
Good show, hero. Next time we come back, let's snatch up a few Vex. Gambit's running low.
Quite a scam you got going here, nezarec. We used to raid and plunder, and the humans called us bandits.
These riches will improve the lives of many eliksni in the last city. They will become shelter, ether, and security.
We have an opportunity to reclaim treasure buried somewhere in this desolate wasteland. We will do what we can to aid his recovery. Until we return, my friend. And you trust the Traveler to stand by the humans after it abandoned us?
I leave all that to the Vanguard. I ain't the man to tell anyone what to do.
Not bad for a day's work. Earth is much more agreeable than I expected. There's the nezarec I used to know. Once we dig it up, we should talk about about our shares. What a load of dark ether. You and Aramis deserve each other.
Those crazy wretches are on their way in. I love those guys.
You trust a spider to share this wealth? Or the drifter who kidnaps his enemies for sport?
Thank you for your assistance, Guardian. These spoils will help many of our people back on Earth. The Vandal Halzix is en route to the fight. We trust the light, not the great machine. Whatever its will, our house will stand in solidarity with the humans.
I can smell a big score nearby. Bring down that Cabal.
The humans respect generosity. You would do well to remember this.
Do you have a long-standing enmity with the Vex, like my father?
Do they? Well, I bet they've never met a Hydra in person.
All the best Guardians come from the cosmodrome. Ain't no better treasure than that. Your dad kicked down their front door with nothing but a splicer gauntlet. How smart could they be? These fools should know better than to sabotage our operation. Clear 'em out.
But we must become more than our past mistakes. We will embrace a future free from hatred. I understand that the pursuit of riches is part of the pirate ethos.
Electronic interference slows our efforts. Eliminate our opponent's jammer. My splicer gauntlet hums. Something interferes with the drill. Seek it out. Well, Plunder, if we're up for more of this business, I have a long list of former associates whose coffers could be lightened.
Whoa, that's a lot of loot. Bank it while you can, hero.
These riches will do much more to improve the eliksni quarter, Guardian. We could never fully express our gratitude. You think he's better than me? He's just as ruthless, but half as honest. Escort the reclaimed treasure to our ship, Guardian.
Wait, we get rid of moth problem and replace it with spiders? What is the city coming to?
Makes sense, though. Why pay for a bunch of defenses when the Vex will do it for free? The crew who hid their loot here probably figured the Vex would scare away any treasure hunters.
Your crewmate gives you power, Guardian.
I'm all for charity, but there's gotta be something in there for the old drifter, right?
You are alive, and we tolerate you in this sacred place. That is your share and no more.
I understand, but when the time comes to forgive, you must. Do not let his regret become yours.
I meant no offense. I'm sure this place is most pleasing under different circumstances. Now you raid and plunder, and they call you Cal.
You can find value in the darkness if you're willing to look. Trust.
I heard you were in the cosmodrome. It appears you've had a successful operation.
I see one carrying great wealth. Overtake them.
There's no need to dig. I saw some beautiful scrap lying on the surface.
You dare return to this place in the presence of a machine spawn? Where is your pride, nezarec?
One of the crews we battled hid their ill-gotten gains here on Earth.
We got what we came for. Let's get off this cubic hellhole. It's been sitting right under our noses this whole time.
Reinforcements hamper our efforts. Strike down the saboteurs.
My forces have alerted me to your trespass. Your presence here is futile.
The pirates have dispatched a jammer to interrupt our drill. Best eliminate it, Guardian.
Seems our little expedition has attracted some attention. Hurry up with that treasure haul.
But to live among humans who have slaughtered eliksni for centuries, it's treachery.
What the hell for? You can't drink Vex milk, can't set sail on it, and swimming in it kills you.
You return to thieve resources from Europa, as if you'll last long enough to spend them.
The crew who hid their treasure on Earth was quite clever. Who would think to look here? I'm sure we can allocate a little plunder to our fearless guide. After all, we would have never found it without you.
These pirates got the brass to block our treasure haul? Show them what's what, hero.
That was a profitable job, but next time let's find one closer to home. I'm afraid so. Splicers are no longer welcome here.
Your servitor makes you strong, like me.
That's a juicy haul, Guardian. If you're looking to invest your new wealth, I have several profitable ventures lined up.
I'm disappointed to see you here, young scribe. After all you've learned about your associates.
Well, that was quite a haul. Better in our hands than those filthy raiders.
See, that's the problem with being a hero right there. Do a good deed, and people got nothing but flowery words.
Seeing these riches just lying around makes me wonder what the Vanguard have got stashed in that tower. Do I detect a grudging acceptance of commercial reality? Find a path to the drill site and destroy any who oppose you. No, of course not. I just don't understand a civilization that ignores the power of commerce.
That loot's calling our names, hero. Move it on back toward our ship.
I do admit that altruism alone will not rebuild the Eliksni quarter. We need entrepreneurs like you.
One of the crews we handled has some loot buried out here.
One of the crews we handled buried their loot out here. Clear the area and dig it up.
Perhaps so. I hope I can find some purpose in all this destruction.
I don't respect anyone who can't be bought.
I see. They secreted their misappropriated goods to prevent its further theft.
The pirates are disabling the drill. Destroy the jamming apparatus. There are many things such wealth can do for the eliksni people. Saboteurs prevent our treasure haul from advancing.
Do not judge so harshly, Ido. After all, I was once a terror to your people. And now, I will do anything to protect you.
Feel free to come and get 'em, if you've got the guts.
Our crew servitor answers your call.
Looks like someone's trying to stop our drill. Get out there and wreck their jammers. I guess, but talking to Failsafe is like teaching a thrall to play harmonica. More trouble than it's worth.
So soon? Oh, I was hoping to tour the Exodus Black. A vintage AI like Failsafe must be a treasure trove of Golden Age information.
So this is where the Warmind Rasputin stockpiled its weapons, eh?
Our enemies are being reinforced. Stop the saboteurs!
Well done, Guardian. I do not wish to quell this victory, but we must not linger here.
But if you demand payment up front, people always find a way to express their gratitude.
You're picking up quick, little Ido. Let's run in the family. What do you think Nezarec and I were doing all those centuries ago? We had nothing, and we took what we needed to survive.
We got good intel that there's treasure buried on this ice ball.
So this is Nessus. What a strange place to hide a treasure.
Treasure secured. Let's get back to civilization.
Hey, watch it, Captain Kell. This is prime New Light territory. Nobody knows that just yet, Crab Cakes. But you're gonna find out. All that book learning couldn't have been for nothing.
Is that the spider I hear? You dare speak on our comms channels. We will find you wherever you hide.
Ido! Guardian! Find her, please! She is my Light!
Guardian, I greet you in the light. I hoped we could speak. Secure the relic, and we shall do so. And retrieve the relic!
The log has a reputation for heavy-handed brutality. I say you show her a little brutality of your own.
Hey, war beasts ain't so bad, if you remember to feed 'em.
Let us speak privately.
I would not stand still long enough to test this reputation.
I said no such thing. The Guardian has proven quite efficient at removing these thorns from our sides. I have engaged with her before. I doubt her tactics have changed. She hides behind traps and shanks and believes herself clever.
Huh. Glad I stayed out of that. Anyway, good job. Let's get this treasure tucked away.
I know. What are you doing?
His name is Arask. Be careful. The commander of this band of pirates is named Eliks, and he's widely known as an expert marksman.
Did they want the relic? Or just a little bloodshed? Whoever they are, they've made powerful enemies. This pirate lord is named Valog. She's a Cabal defector, but from which side, I couldn't tell you. Here, you'll face Ta'al and Tha'ern, with 4 cleavers between them.
Be my guest.
You become quite adept at bringing down these pirate lords. Do you think the rest are terrified?
May I interject? You face an eliksni who has amassed a great many followers. They are willing to throw their lives away for his protection. But I do not know if it is out of loyalty or fear. No! The door is sealed! Father!
Personally, I stay away from these loosened hive. I don't trust anyone that loyal. Clear them out.
Very well.
Something's wrong. Whoever came through here cleaned this place out.
Spider, why are you using a secure channel? Did my father tell you to do so? I have never seen nezarec scale so frightened. I don't know why. I know he is not afraid of Aramis. Were those his exact words?
There he is. Take him down.
So Reylk survived? For a little while longer. Ido, what are you doing here? Are you unharmed? And nezarec knows.
Your presence is not necessary.
Hey, hero. Spider said he needed my help again. Nah, this outfit is organized, efficient, and almost as deadly as the Guardian.
Only a guess. Who can say? And after all, who am I to question the Cal?
Arask will not confront you until he has exhausted his underlings. Be ready, Guardian.
Guardian, this layer is swarming with the loosened hive. We must not abandon caution now that our mission comes to a close. This would make a wonderful addition to my collection, whatever it is. Your help is needed in studying the relics, not in our search for them.
I hope that we can reach an understanding. Spider, I will find out what's going on here.
Yeah, us too.
Guardian, you face an eliksni skilled in scrapworking. Her name is Ethics. Watch those cleavers. We don't want to tire out your ghost. But I imagine you'll hand it over to nezarec and that nosy daughter of his for the good of the eliksni.
I will retrieve the last relic myself, without violence. The hive.
Fine. Valog won't be the only one looking for a relic like this. Let's hunt them down before Aramis does. Ido! This is a dangerous undertaking. These lairs are frequented by many unsavory types. Speaking of, I've seen what they eat. Too much trouble for the cost. Nezarec hasn't told you any more about these relics, has he? I suppose it's need to know.
Maybe you did that for a while too. But then you made a safe place for the eliksni. That's what Aramis wants, and she'll never get there.
An eliksni obsessed with those disgusting Cabal war beasts goes by the name Eliks.
Aiding Drifter and the Guardian. We have collected another relic before it was able to come into Aramiskel's possession.
It's not just her life. Her pride is on the line. A headless crew is a worthless one. Remove her from the board.
Good job, Guardian. You too, little sister. Read about this in one of your books?
The old crews fear you. Fear us. They know they cannot stand in our way.
So you say. But know this. A parley will not delay your house's destruction if you continue to stand in my way.
Luck was on our side this time. But now these pests stand in our way. Oh, how unfortunate for them. Antiquities indeed. So this is where the trail leads. Well then, we best keep these relics out of Aramis's hands. Don't you agree? Another gang. Scavs bold enough to assault a hideout for its treasures.
I believe I am close to the relic. When we have it, Aramiskel will see the futility of her actions. What Nezarec told you is true. I've called for a parley with Aramiskel. I do not know if she will agree to it, but I had to try.
Idol, please, forgive me.
What we do now matters more than who we were.
Asterisk met his end. Well, he was lucky to have lived this long. Perhaps it is what I am, and Aramis speaks the truth. Huh? Clever scribe. No more flattery? Well, Nezarec asked me to keep you at arm's length. Perhaps he doesn't want you mixing in with our unsavory business.
Hey, hero. Looking to grab another relic?
If I can render assistance, then I should do so. Thank you, Aramiskel. I look forward to our meeting.
Well, this thorn's got teeth. Lots of them. Big and pointy.
Huh? How interesting. These relics just became more valuable. Demand, it seems, is very high.
No, I didn't. Isn't that exciting?
A strong arm and a sharp edge. They always think that's the only thing they need. This one can hardly be called a pirate lord. He's named Vrisk. Just a drag in too deep to know he's already dead. So, our enemy finally steps into the light, so to speak. The Lucent Hive is searching for the relics, and Aramis's crews are overwhelmed. You risk yourself for her. She will never abandon her ways. Remove her defenses and end her life. I wonder if our pirate lord is still with us.
Whoever tried to take that pirate lord down first, they didn't get the relic. But these interlopers managed to take out half this crew.
She will not face you if she has a choice. Leave her none.
Hey, now, I didn't say that. What's that Ido said to me? Aramis will fight forever to get rid of her shame.
Do not waste my time.
Huh. Looks like Captain Kells found his inner pirate again.
No, you both must face the past. You cannot outrun it. You cannot hide it from me.
The Drifter speaks kind truths. Nezarec thanks you. My associates have given me concerning information. Our interlopers may have found this one first. Find out who's after my goods.
Scribe Ido, this is Aramiskel of House Salvation. I will respect the old traditions. I agree to your request.
Oh, perhaps we could inquire after the artifact she's seeking. The crew's servitor is coming to aid you. Please return it safely.
That is not unusual.
These are gestures, not actions. Aramis will never change. All 6 arrives to locate your enemy's weaknesses.
No. She saved me from the Lucent Hive. Isn't that enough?
Aramis may have escaped, but the crews remain.
You think you can board this crew's catch? You will have to cut them down first.
That vandal could shoot the wings off a gnat.
If negotiation were a skill you valued, perhaps you wouldn't be a fugitive right now.
That sounded good, Crab Cakes. You're picking up quick.
Another catch and its crew bringing violence to the system. The top deck will soon be overrun. Return to our catch while you can.
Now let's see what kind of loot these buccaneers got.
This crew is larger than I remember. Hope you've got ammunition, Guardian. Aramis must be more persuasive than we realized.
Board their catch! Show no mercy!
We must discover the location of their lair. Only then may we uncover Aramis's plans.
We're being boarded. All guns to starboard. How fortuitous. Can they be reasoned with?
We are here to keep the relics from enemies of the light, not for your personal gain. Aramis, tell this crew to stand down. We will show mercy.
This crew would rather die than surrender to you.
Use their weapons against them. It's cheaper that way. Steal one of those scourge cannons. They'll be good against the shields.
Eris, the Drifter tells me that you worked closely together in the past.
As we did in our younger days. Never mind. Keep it, Guardian. Remove them.
Do not judge Mithrak so harshly, young idol. He is doing what he must for the good of all.
Yet here you are.
The leader of this crew awaits you on deck, Guardian. I fear their life will be the cost of your escape.
Their commander is running away. Are they allowed to do that? I think you mean we must find their hideout and kill them.
If I were the captain, I'd lie about having found the relic. I bet they have it hidden somewhere. Keep your ridiculous music to yourself, Drifter.
There! That's the captain of this wreck. Chase him down.
This is not over. The crews will rally. They will face you again and again until your house falls.
Drive them off your ship and out of our system.
Caution! You got the Guardian all wrong. Hit him with everything you got, hero. Yeah? How's it go?
Our ship's servitor arrives to empower your attack. This is true. Certainly not. I would never be so unprofessional. This sketch contains stolen goods. Find them so they might fulfill a better purpose.
This crew ain't gonna let you off that easy, Guardian. They're fixing to make a last stand on the top deck.
The House of Light are citizens of the last city now. It is our duty to assist.
Those scorch cannons are no joke. Grab one to bust down their shields.
I'm shocked to hear such ruthlessness.
You know, Moondust, I can't figure you out.
For research purposes, of course.
Seems like they're throwing you a little going-away party. I suggest grenades as parting gifts.
When Osiris was Possessed by Sabazon. The eliksni quarter did not yet exist.
I spent my life hearing you preach mercy, nezarec.
Well, she's living up to her name. We're being boarded.
The head of this crew is fleeing. Pursue them. You are near the heart of the ship, Guardian. Secure the captain's quarters for intelligence.
The remaining crew is assembling on deck. Proceed with caution, Guardian.
You know I always do. It's not your ship anymore, boss. I already put my scent all over it.
Seize their ship. It may lead to the location of a relic. I know. I do not understand. What had Aramis done to earn your trust? Aramis must have made quite the impression on this crew. I wish that it were.
I see. Perhaps not. But I'm no longer sure they can be trusted to you either.
The skiff blades prove their bravery once again. If I'd known these relics were such a good investment, I wouldn't have let you maroon me, nezarec.
Halsix has sharp eyes. He'll enhance your precision.
These mercenaries raid on behalf of Aramis, the ship stealer. They'd rather die than let you leave with their intel. Let's accommodate them.
To flinch away from either would be a greater loss.
Guardian, once you're inside, look for clues that may lead to the relics of Nezarec. The Guardians will fight if they must. I hate to see valuable ether wasted, but you should destroy those storage tanks.
The eliksni here in the city say you spoke with Aramis.
These pirates have not yet given Aramis the relic she seeks. Perhaps they're holding out for better pay.
Oh, you have nothing to fear. I've forgiven you. I am full of grace. But I know. We'll see. Of course not. They only understand two things. Glimmer and violence. And this is no charity.
Their captain's trying to slip away. Run him down.
Well, it begins with a nonverbal invocation and speaks of camaraderie and combat. Then it becomes difficult to translate. I'll study this further.
Just like you. You are no different.
Well done, Guardian. My salvage crews are already on their way.
Guardian, thank you for helping in the field while I tend to Osiris.
I was beginning to expect better from you. Did I misjudge?
Yes, destroy them. Drive them into the void.
And whatever else these salty buccaneers got stashed away.
He stirs in his sleep. He cries out. I feel like he's trying to say something to me.
The whirlwind did not make us this way.
The pirate life's a tough one. You must be hard as a coffin nail to have survived this long, Mithrax.
So it is true. I wonder if he forgives you.
A small price to pay. One will make up for in glimmer.
Take out those ether tanks, hero. They'll feel that for sure.
Differs. How? Ido, what does that mean? Ido?
Your crewmate enters the battle on your behalf. I hope you are spared such misery, my daughter. This crew works for Aramis, but they are not loyal. They have not given her the relic. Yet. Silence! This is no time for your indiscretion.
Yes, it did. You are too young to remember, but your mother knew.
A year ago I would have been shocked, but things change.
Machine spawn. You will fail. Piracy has been the eliksni way for centuries. You are only playing at this life.
So little Ido knows of your sordid past. And she heard it from the ship stealer, no less.
How about we let the Guardian's arsenal do the talking? It can be very persuasive.
These pirates have quite the ether reserves. Blow them up with their own ether charges. Perhaps I picked the wrong side.
I see you've boarded our attacker's vessel. Perhaps now they'll negotiate.
This crew is caught between your light and Aramis's wrath. They will not relent. Whatever the witness wants with them will only lead to our destruction. You need not remind me, Rakis.
Spider, do you have any hatchlings yourself? Piracy runs in my family, apparently.
Hey, Hero. Thinking about personalizing that catch of ours. Give it a new paint job. You like snakes? Na 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 na.
A convenient excuse. One I hear often from the tower.
You value knowledge. Know this. The light is not the sole arbiter of the truth, just as it is not the sole dispensator of power.
And how fares Osiris?
I know you, Nezarec. I know what you did. They are far more dangerous in your hands.
If Aramis had the relics, she wouldn't have sent this crew against us. Keep looking, Guardian. All 6 keen eyes will increase your precision. We are one step closer to this crew's relic. We must find their hideout and subdue them. Aramis has escaped us once again. The Hidden will continue their search, but there is no knowing where she may be now.
Oh, human musical tradition. Oh, how interesting.
The sound of greed. The last city may suit me fine after all. We cannot survive without it.
I know who I am, and I know who you are as well.
I bet these privateers got quite a haul stashed away somewhere.
Drifter, your last message was indecipherable. Whatever method of encryption you are using simply corrupts the data beyond retrieval.
I'm sure Nezarec and Ido have been most helpful.
Overcome the servitors to disable the security system.
We're being boarded. More of Aramis's mercenaries. We're being boarded. Clear the top deck, Guardian. We've got enemy buccaneers incoming.
I have not failed.
The crew who boards our catch does not know the danger they face. Destroy them, take their ship, and break their captain. These misguided pawns risk their lives for Aramis's glory. Proceed to the captain's quarters. There we may find their leader.
You got a lot to learn about swashbuckling. We ain't the prey. We're the hunters.
In my experience, they keep the choice cuts for themselves.
He will have much to learn once he awakens.
You were once among them, Nezarec. You have not changed. You are just as dangerous as they.
Then they will die. Recklessness is an affliction of youth. I was cured of it by great shame and suffering.
You're going all the way inside their ship? Won't that be dangerous?
You talk a big game about how much I irritate you, but you keep calling.
Don't worry about the ship. The salvage crews will take care of it. We are not here for your enrichment, Spider. We are one step closer to the next relic. We must find them before Aramis steals them for the witness. Well fought, Guardian. You see the dangers of the old crews and repel them.
You got the goods, Guardian. Time to blow this rickety barge.
I tolerate your assistance on our mission, but you will not make a mockery of our cause.
along with a whole heap of pirate treasure. Let's get in there, Guardian. I reckon this crew's playing all sides for the best payday. They probably got the relics stashed away somewhere.
I have faced these rogue crews before, Guardian. Do not underestimate them.
Your crewmates lend their ferocity and their blades. My associate said his captain has a sizable trove. Let's locate it before Aramis does.
These pirates were wise not to store all their treasure on this ship. They're more clever than I expected.
Your crewmate's rifle is yours to command. The leader of this rabble is escaping. Your enemies assemble on deck, Guardian.
Eris? Eris Morn? The Drifter has informed me that you are a source of great knowledge regarding the darkness.
Our attacker's catch may hold the location of another relic. It would not have mattered. Unfortunates like these will risk much for wealth.
Besides, it wouldn't be an adventure without some danger.
Do not deface my catch!
Those ether tanks are ready to blow. Use their own charges against them.
I have not failed.
They cannot be trusted to one such as these.
You got a lot to learn, crab cakes. The Guardian don't run from a fight.
The eliksni way has changed. All remaining forces assemble to prevent your escape. This is one of the freelance crews Aramis hired. I've worked with them in the past.
Those servitors got the info we need to hack this security system. Take them out.
That would appear to be true.
Hey, calm down. We're just having fun out here.
It's unfortunate that this crew was so reckless with their lives. Surely we could have come to a common understanding.
Show them its futility.
It takes great courage to defect from an unjust cause.
Stay out of sight and target the servitors, Guardian.
Watch yourself, Rat.
I wonder if Aramis told these poor fools who they were raiding. Seize your enemy's weapons to eliminate their shields.
Our eliksni friends won't like it, but we should blow up those ether tanks.
These pirates risk their lives for the relics. Is it just greed that drives them? Yes, I am curious. Why do Guardians dabble in the darkness when they have the favor of the Great Machine? Hack the terminals with the information from the servitors.
Yes. When the pyramids first arrived in this system, he and I deciphered their messages. His assistance was trying at times, but proved invaluable, and prepared us for what followed.
I see. That is interesting to hear. His account of these events differs somewhat.
Still profiting from the pain and loss of others, Ruckus?
I hope these wretches fight as well as they gamble.
Ship stealer, there is no need for violence. Tell this catch's captain to surrender.
I'm seeing increased activity on the top deck. I recommend a tactical retreat.
Found another shanty for you, Captain Kell. Goes a little something like this.
These raiders must be repelled. Unleash your fury on them, Guardian.
I have seen the mercy of the machine spawn. The eliksni will not survive it.
You can lie to yourself, but you cannot lie to the witness.
How he destroyed his enemies with no remorse or restraint. How he was feared throughout the system.
Aramis, we are both Kells. Is this how House Salvation cares for its people?
We've repelled their attack. Let's escape while we can.
Well fought, Guardian. Let's sack their ship and strip it for parts. Negotiate. No wonder House of Judgment went extinct. Then it is no surprise your crew was so eager to work for the Guardian.
We got what we need, hero. Clear the top deck and let's get out of here.
How fortuitous. Could you broker a ceasefire?
Amen, brother.
I'm afraid not. The Techians do not share their knowledge of hive magic freely.
You know the stories, Machine Spawn. How he murdered eliksni.
That's right, Guardian. My salvage crew is already en route to strip this catch bare.
These bandits think you are easy prey, Guardian.
Better theirs than mine. Myth rats.
That's the captain who ordered the attack on our catch.
The key to deactivating the security system lies with the Cerberus. We can do both. You used to understand that.
I see Osiris toss and turn, like he's banging on a door, trying to break through.
Drifter, I have uncovered an eliksni sea shanty, as you call them.
You know what power they hold. You covet them now as you coveted them centuries ago.
Yet here you are.
We gotta blow up those storage tanks. Their ether charges will do the job.
This is how House Salvation will put an end to the violence that has followed us since the whirlwind.
And I could bring him back if I just had the key.
They are as foolish as I once was. It gives my spirit pain to see it.
Nezarec. I have heard you shelter Spider, that craven fool.
I'm surprised to hear you say that. Are they not all defectors and deserters?
The skiff blades have aided many kells. Now they are yours to command. We can be more than this, Aramis. This is not who we are. Begging the witness for forgiveness, I expect. Something tells me it isn't merciful.
These privateers mean business. Whatever Aramis was paying them must be juicy.
For ones who are powerless, the strength of the relics is worth risking all.
She respected me and my position. She spoke to me of her pain. She was truthful when others were not.
You're almost home free, hero. Just the small matter of a large army on deck.
A better purpose indeed. Rendezvous with my associates in the captain's quarters, and don't let them take all the loot. The bandits ready for a final defense. End their voyage, Guardian.
The captain of that vessel has been spotted on the top deck. I suggest bypassing them.
Let us board their vessel and uncover its location.
You caught the Drifter in a rare moment of truth. What is it you wish to know?
Once you're inside, head to the captain's quarters.
Ido, have you seen anything in your research that could help with Osiris's condition?
I've worked with this crew before.
The solar energy from those scorch cannons should disable their shields.
This captain must have stashed their loot someplace quiet. Let's knock some heads and figure out where.
But I cannot understand it.
Guardian, another catch engages us in battle.
That big eliksni wrecking ball is on its way.
Normally, these cowards would have broken and run by now. Cerberus give life to the eliksni. May they grant you strength.
Well played, hero. You might have missed your century.
Don't let this rabble destroy my catch. I am the Kell of House Light. I will protect all eliksni who wish to live beneath the great machine.
You would have fit right in during the Dark Ages.
We must learn where this crew has hidden their treasure. Search the captain's quarters for clues. We've done much worse for less. Nezarec? Absolutely not. You have failed, Aramis. What will you tell the voice in the darkness?
How eagerly you return to your old ways, Nezarec. Our crewmates are eager to fight alongside you, Guardian.
Use the scorch cannons to break their shield generators.
Yes, the machine spawn are skilled at killing our people.
and at inventing reasons to do it.
The time of theft and pillaging is over for the eliksni. Some must learn this through violence. Instead, they assemble on deck for a final defense.
You have no hold over her. What will she do now that she knows the truth?
Reinforcements arrive. Your time runs short, Guardian.
In my experience, boarding a ship is never the problem. Getting out's the tough part.
Do not speak of idle.
Nezarec, what does your daughter think of you now that she sees your ruthlessness firsthand?
Do not judge these poor fools, Guardian. They are commanded by a liar.
Nezarec calls me a liar. Don't make me speak to your daughter again. Stop! Do it. Show your daughter who you really are.
Aranus.
Stop! She protected me! She could have had everything. Oh, yes, this Guardian is quite competent. I still hope I will be able to assist somehow.
Do not speak to my daughter again. Rumor has it your new crew has been bringing back delightful baubles, pulled from the old shores. But I'm sure it will all work out. After all, what is it you say? The light provides.
Can't really blame them for not wanting to discuss it.
My people's concerns are my own. I will listen. I hold a great many things. Yes, it's surprising what they struggle with. I hoped you'd say that.
Do you hold a title, sir? I've heard what they call you. Thank you, Drifter.
We could have everything this time. We need only take it.
Aramiskel, as scribe of House of Light, I feel compelled to tell you, there is another force searching for these relics. I wanted to speak with you, Germain.
Even if Nezarec had friends back then, I wasn't among them. I couldn't possibly speak to his behavior. Come now, Nezarec. I know you. Think of your house. Think of your daughter. Do you hear me, Ruckus? Those relics resurfaced for a reason. The power belongs to us.
Yes, some of them struggle to pronounce his name. Have you seen him act this way before? You two were friends once. What do you mean?
Are you asking for a share?
Now you are speaking of Nezarec.
Very plucky of you, idol. How does your father feel about your involvement? It seems these old pirate crews have put a touch of fear into him.
Spider, there are questions my father refuses to answer. I have heard the stories.
Oh, is that ingratitude I hear? I hear you.
Open your eyes, young scribe. Every light casts a shadow.
Now, little scribe, if you'd be kind enough to excuse us. The Guardian and I have business to discuss.
Aramis seeks freedom for our people. But her freedom is vengeful.
What? The Guardian? Huh. A trusted accomplice.
We did not identify the Force, but they dispatched your associates with ease. We have in them a common enemy.
It was centuries ago. I am no longer that person.
Oh. Do you think me so petty? We're on the same side here. We have our eyes on the same horizon.
If no one's relying on you, there's no one to disappoint. No one to be disappointed by.
Accepted. Do you have any insight as to why the Lucent Hive are interested in the relics? Yes, he seemed apprehensive. But I am a scribe. Chronicling our history is part of my position.
Whoa! What kind of books you been reading? It's been Drifter for a long while now.
A true Kell serves their house. You serve only the witness.
You taught me to honor eliksni tradition. Aramis agreed to parley. You cannot lose faith in the old ways now.
The Guardian is here for your protection.
I want to know the truth. Will I have to hear it from her?
I see now. You're afraid little Ida will take off those rose-colored glasses. Such a delightful human phrase. Present company excluded, of course.
A meal and a bed that don't come at the end of a blade? That's freedom.
But while the Lucent Hive are loyal to Savathun, the pirates enjoy a startling degree of freedom already.
Your father was unpredictable. We could have had everything we wanted if he listened to me, but he always knew better.
You are drawing a comparison.
No, you are the same as ever. Join me. Together we'll use these relics to achieve true freedom for the eliksni.
Idol, please.
Shame's a hard thing to shake. Harder if you have to share it.
Of course. Welcome to the last city. May the light provide.
You will leave that behavior in the past. You will not speak of it here beneath the great machine, or I will silence you.
I do not call the truth ingratitude, but enough of who my father is. Who was he? I apologize for the Kell's behavior.
Never summon me like this again.
Get out. We're closed.
You're being evasive.
Oh, evasive? I prefer to think of it as coy. Well then.
No, I did not imagine you would speak like that where I might hear you.
And what will she see when she looks at you then? There's no call for that. Apology accepted.
I see. And who are these new meddlers exactly? We have always had a common enemy. Abandon your pathetic attempts to appease your oppressors.
Unkindness was never my aim. Apologies, sister.
This is a mistake, Idol. Aramis listens to one voice only, and it is not ours. One of many you have wronged, perhaps.
May the light provide. Nezarec, you old charlatan. You built quite the house of cards here. Have you now?
Power is freedom, and everybody's chasing it, from the biggest freaky moth monster to the lowest space pirate.
Spider is better than Fallen, and no worse than your old man letting the Guardians call him Mithrax.
It might look that way from the outside, but they've got to fight for everything they get. That's just survival.
We could have everything Aramis wants. Wouldn't that be some lovely payback, huh?
Me?
And who do you serve? I agreed to meet with eliksni, not a light bearer.
They're not constrained by office or honor. They are ruled only by their own desires.
Let me explain.
But I am an eliksni Kel, and I fight for the liberation of our people.
We have not formally met. I am Ido, scribe of House Light, daughter of nezarec, whom you already know.
I may draw power from the voice in the darkness.
And deep down, he must be as excited about the adventure as any of us. Father!
Picking over ruins, pretending he's content in the shadow of the great machine.
Your words are careless.
Mithrax, my old friend. There's a matter I wish to discuss with you.
It is unkind to withhold knowledge.
That's your call, sister. I'm just saying, I get it.
Drifter, then. You have kept secrets from us since the beginning.
No. The relics pose too great a threat. They cannot fall to warmongers like you.
Huh. Look at him now. Cal of a house, holed up inside the city.
You are saying I should forgive him.
None know of the destructive power better than you, Mithrax.
Look, I get it. Walking away from folks can feel like freedom.
She wishes to be free from her shame. She will sacrifice eliksni lives in its pursuit, and it will never end.
Sooner or later, she'll learn the truth. Oh, don't worry about me, though I'm not the only one who remembers.
I am simply performing my duties as scribe of House Light. I will gather knowledge regardless of who would keep it from me.
Yes. Mithrax and I are well acquainted.
You know, I don't hear that enough.
Oh, I'm positively thrilled.
We were offered scraps and we took them.
I expected this from Spider, but not from you. Ruckus, I told you not to speak of this. Do I have to dock your tongue?
I do not judge him for who he was, but he treated me like a hatchling.
Pirates. Well, anchors away. Ready when you are, Captain.
The old crews. I've read about them. The catch killers and skiff blades. What is the human word?
Yeah, that's a tough sell. Zavala's preparing for Callus's next move. Ikora's got her hidden looking for Aramis, but they stick to the shadows. It's your call, hero.
Father, we should do whatever we can to help. And there's so much exhilarating knowledge to be gained from these pirates.
If you could find it.
Ido, this is more serious than you realize.
Aramis thawing out is bad news, sure, and she's looking for something.
And it's true. has broken free. Her name still carries weight. The old crews now rally under her command.
You ain't wrong. We all know how dangerous Aramis can be.
Be careful with that cargo, or I'll dock you myself!
It's your call, hero. Well, anchors away. Ready when you are, Captain. That's access, little sister. You hold this key, and any door they close, you can open.
They may hold antiquities from the time of the whirlwind.
We must not take the old crews lightly. The full vanguard should be rallied to deal with these outlaws.
That leaves us. But luck's on our side for a change. This little trinket is exactly what we need.
What's that?
Baron? I haven't heard that in some time. What is it you want, Scribino?
That was not a story Aramis had any right to tell.
Did you believe that I would never find out? That no one would remember? I'm charged with preserving the history of our people.
They have our people's blood on their hands, and you scrape at their feet. It is shameful. You are shameful.
These bring to mind old memories. A past I wish to forget. It is a shameful one.
They adopt whatever code of honor befits them and concern themselves with little beyond the present.
You think I am without remorse, but I do not wish to harm my fellow eliksni. But if you want a fight, then I will give you one.
I was terrified. Not only of the hive, but of you. When you arrived, I thought it was to follow through on your threat. What does that mean?
I've been holding on to them, but I figured you might want them.
Nezarec would understand. This is important to the history of House Light, of which you are a part.
Of course you do.
Do not stand in my way. If we meet again, I will be the last thing you see. You and that hypocrite you call a father.
Some history does not need to be preserved.
You remember the whirlwind. I do not. But I believe that the greatest treasure we lost was unity.
They knew these things were powerful, but not why.
I want to understand. You will not let me.
I kept this part quiet. I think half of those pirate lords didn't know what they had to begin with.
It is a part of me, whether I witnessed it or not. I don't want to look away, and I don't want to forget. Perhaps not, but nothing good comes from refusing to face the truth.
But we both know humiliation, don't we? You live in the shadow of those who have destroyed the dream of a unified eliksni.
Is that what you wish to happen to us now?
Crack one open and you'd find a finger bone or a knot of old hair. Strong stuff. Smells awful. Ask me how I know.
We can see a future for the eliksni beyond the pain of the whirlwind. But you think you can't be a part of it.
You do not know what you ask.
Am I your conscience? Discover this for yourself. They are reliquaries, objects of great power.
Nezarec of House Light. This is Aramis of House Salvation. We need not be enemies, but you intend to make one of me. Very well.
But that path does not end, Aramis. You will never find what you are seeking.
Your words mean much to me, my friend.
Aramis Kell? I greet you in the light.
You do not know what I know. You did not see what I saw.
Each crew has a unique composition, pledges loyalty to the most powerful among their numbers.
Where is the nezarec of legend, feared by so many? Is he trying to outrun his past? We know this is impossible.
My father spared you because he saw that you could turn from a path he had once followed. I see this also.
You don't know what your father is capable of, little scribe.
I have been restored by a power too great to oppose.
Aramis, I did not have to hear it from her. That was your choice. But there is no greater threat to us than when we fight against each other.
The saint has heard correctly. I wish it had not come to this. I do not enjoy it. To see eliksni fight and die for scraps of power.
These relics are not simple curiosities to be hoarded. They might serve a greater purpose.
I have very little record of that time. A first-hand account would be invaluable.
You say there are paths that never end. But these are also paths you cannot turn away from.
This division will destroy us completely. You will say that House Salvation will bring unity through the destruction of our enemies.
Scribe Ido.
And I enjoy your silence.
I can only do the same for you.
Baron Spider, I greet you in the light.
Why?
Ooh, I like listening to you talk. And what's that?
You and my father came from the House of Wolves, once known as the House of Gentle Weavers.
nezarec thinks he can. He is wrong. He and I will always be what we are. But we are not something you would wish to become.
I have heard that you have a great interest in human cultures, and as such have acquired many curiosities.
The darkness moves just beneath its skin. Do you feel it? It ruptures, flows, envelops. A gift, then?
You told my father that we need not be enemies. This is still true. But we will always be your enemy if you serve the witness. Aramis Kell, I greet you in the light. I wish that you could greet me in the same. I have a question.
This conversation never happened.
I remember the whirlwind, and we are running from it. We are running from that pain, and will be forever. You do not want this life.
Your grace is appreciated. House Light and its Kell thanks you. But how is Osiris?
I am not one to speak of shame. I carry my own. That you forgave me for what I did to your people speaks to your strength.
May the light provide.
Well, yeah, Moondust. You could call it a gift.
Ido of the House of Light, Scribe Log Zeta 78D. At this point in the Guardian's adventures, we have had contact with a great many pirates. I called for our parley because you believe this too. I do not know what it has promised you. An eliksni reborn, a Rees restored. Did it promise us a future? But I ask, do you strive for our future? Or do you flee the whirlwind? Like the whirlwind? So much was lost, so much we will never recover, no matter how much we search, no matter how much we remember.
You are young and honor the old ways, so I will speak gently.
The sentiment is appreciated, but no. You know what you possess.
I am not afraid of what you are, but I am afraid of what you do. That went rather poorly, but there is still the call of the open stars, These pirates sought to possess the relics of Nezarec. What else might they hold? You will never undo the legacy of the whirlwind.
Mithrax, my friend. I hear you clash swords with pirates now, and fight alongside strange crew.
They fight for whomever promises them the most power, or the most glimmer. The Lucent Hive and the Witness both pose a great threat to the eliksni.
I thought to myself, you know who might like something strange and unsettling? Eris Morn.
I am told you have a daughter. Does she know who you are? What are you teaching her? And what lies will she repeat? Rally your crew. Take what you believe is yours by right of plunder. I don't expect any better from you.
A friend told me that these pirates are not as free as they seem, that their lives are fueled by desperation more than their own desires.
Kel wouldn't like my speaking to you.
Aramis Kel, again, I greet you in the light. Not as my enemy, but as my savior. Then you turned and raised your blade against my assailants. But that same blade would have taken the life of my father if you'd had the advantage.
More powerful than the traitor machine that abandoned us, and the machine spawn who did not hesitate to kill me.
You do not understand. I want you to look forward, not to what the whirlwind made us. You do not need to carry this history.
You protected me from the Lucent Hive. Without your intervention, I would have died at their hands. I thank you.
What won't you tell her when you look into her eyes?
He will wake. I know stories of the Phoenix. Osiris will rise from this as well.
I know the futility of this, but I will say it regardless. There is a place for you here. We need not be enemies. Come home, Aramis. The whirlwind led to you. It led to my father. But it led to me as well. I do not believe that.
When I pulled you from the wreckage of a ketch, I knew that you deserved more than the world that orphaned you. Yes, I had quite the collection before my unfortunate relocation. But this isn't why you hailed me. Get to the point.
He sleeps. I wait for him.
This fills me with hope. May this be but the first of many improvements. Look, Guardian. Do you see the additions to the buildings in the distance? They say that when a fire team of Guardians assembles, they can kill a god. But when all the Guardians band together, they can achieve so much more. Yes, there was some unrest when Igora first welcomed us here. But this is about more than security. The eliksni are being accepted by the Tower. Ido showed me that one should not deny the past, but rather grow from it. And there is nothing wrong with cherishing the comforts of one's home. Look there. The first eliksni to undergo Vanguard security training. From this humble soil, we will grow hope. This is now a comfortable place for citizens to relax and speak openly to their neighbors. And Spider does make an excellent ether fizz. Thank you, Guardian. For you have performed the greatest of kindnesses. There will be lectures, forums, debates, and I will invite all the citizens of the last city to attend. Even Spider deserves to be comfortable. Spider built it here, standing in defiance of the conflicts of our past. May this signal a new era of understanding for all who live beneath the great machine. He was speechless when I asked him to ship in some of his trinkets from the tangled shore. I told him his collection is part of our culture. There is justice in using treasure stolen by Aramis's pirates to improve our lives here. Ah, this is where Spider is keeping his treasures. Ah, good. Spider took my advice and made some improvements to the ether tank. This simple place, a town square, you may call it, but to us, it is so much more. A place for community meetings, an open-air school. The hatchlings and children of the city now see human and eliksni faces protecting them. May they serve with pride. Somehow, I think even Aramis herself would approve. A garden. Spider told me I would enjoy his latest improvement, and he was correct. This is more than food for those in the last city, and we have plenty already. This little garden will bring our community closer than ever before. New homes for both our people here beneath the great machine. I know would have preferred a library, but sometimes entertainment should come before edification. A social space is important. How wonderful. Spider is already putting the Guardian's generous donations to good use.
Your runner is advancing. Your runner has the spark. Run the spark. The spark is available. You outplayed them. Take that cunning beyond the tower, and you'll go far. Overtime. Finish this. Enemy runner advancing. Runner approaching the rift. Spark runner defeated. Your team averted a crisis. Enemy runner active. Stop them. Your team has ignited the enemy rift. Enemy runner near. They've stopped your spark runner. Enemy runner stopped. You played with heart, Guardian. Their loss was inevitable. Enemy has the spark. Run. Ignite the rift. They stopped you. Learn from this. So close. You must protect your runner. Play another, Guardian. Make pain your ally, and victory is yours. Rift. Fight for the spark. Take it into the rift. Spark runner is down. They've defeated your spark runner. Enemy rift ignited. Nearing the rift. Run. Overtime. Ignite the rift. They got you, spark runner. Get back in there. Runner down. Enemy runner incoming. Oh my! They almost ignited your rift. This can't be your best effort, Guardian. Powerful use of the spark, Guardian. Keep it up. Don't give up. I could taste that ignition. Enemy runner approaching the rift. Enemy runner is down. Capture the spark and take it to the rift. Your runner is your life, Guardian. Protect them. Enemy runner neutralized. Overtime, Guardian. Run that spark. Plenty of sparks left, Guardian. Next time. The enemy ignited your rift. You're the runner, Guardian. Run. Spark ready. Take it. The spark has arrived. I was holding my breath, but you averted a crisis. Stop the enemy runner. The spark will ignite the rift, and your enemies will burn. I could smell that ignition, Guardian. So close. Again! They nearly ignited your rift. Be vigilant. Stop for nothing. Enemy runner is down. Your runner moving in. You've got into overtime. Stop that runner. Oh, that runner was close to ignition. Remember to defend. Enemy runner stopped. Charging the spark. Runner out. Push forward. Overtime. Stop that runner. Enemy rift ignited. You've taken the spark. Well played. Rift ignition never smelt so sweet. You're not playing to your potential, Guardian. Don't give up. Enemy runner down. Good work. You cut down the enemy runner just in time. Oh my. Is that what victory smells like? Enemy has the spark. Stop them. You have the spark. Ignite the rift. You're down but not out, spark runner. Embrace the pain. Get back out there. Or there will always be another spark. Try again. Spark runner down. That was too close. Too late. They got your rift. Overtime. Embrace your fate. Spark charging. Defend your runner. Remember, The spark isn't just an objective. It's a weapon. You've taken the spark. Get to the rift. Your team ignited the rift. I thought you had that one. Next time, you've stopped the runner. You ignited the rift. Good work, runner. Overtime, you have the spark. Ignite that rift. Overtime, run that spark. Enemy runner ignited your rift.
I must continue my studies. May the light provide.
Ah, hey there, hero. Sorry, getting a little swept up in all this adventuring. Maybe I should do a little research of my own. Poor Ido. What do they say? Never meet your heroes? Kinda tough when your hero's your dad. Might have lost his temper. Definitely lost face. No surprise to me Mithrax has got some secrets. Everybody's got something that keeps him up at night. I'm on debrief duty, while your eliksni buddies are busy with the relics you got from Aramis's crew. Hey there, Captain. Figured I'd better take over while Mithrax is preoccupied.
Our priorities have not changed. We must stop Aramis from claiming the relics of Nezarec.
Yep, nothing for you to do now but lay back in that big old pile of pirate treasure you got. You deserve it. I heard he's dealing with some family issues.
Hello, Guardian. My father and I are already studying the relic you reclaimed from the pirates.
She thinks something's hidden inside him. I swear she was about to crack one open before Mithrax stopped her.
But I do regret.
Huh. I thought that guy still had some mean in him. Guess I was wrong. From what I could gather, he tried to shut Ido out from all this pirate business.
I believed we could collect the relics and contain that power, keep them safe. I have just spoken with Drifter. He says another force assaulted Aramis's pirates. I was a killer, but I am a kill. I will prove to you which title I deserve. I greet you, Guardian. I wished to speak to you earlier, but I did not have the words.
I hope my support was beneficial, although I admit I am unused to the rigors of combat. I was thrilled to aid in your engagement with Aramis's fleet.
Hope it's something good.
I am eager to learn the nature of the strange energies that seep from within.
Drove Aramis off, stopped whatever plan the witness had, and brought home all the pieces of Nezarec. Not bad at all.
I am either underestimated or dismissed. And I could take only one lesson from this. My own father does not want me to know him.
Just look at me and Zavala. Or me and Ikora. Or me and... anybody, really. Reminds me of something. From a long time ago.
Guardian, there are details I have kept from you. From everyone.
Mithrax and Ido have the relics now. Don't know what those things can actually do, but if anyone can figure it out, it'd be them.
Nezarec of House Light. My father, a murderer, and a liar.
I was right about you, though. Gotta hand it to you, kid. You did a hell of a job out there.
I will not apologize, as I believe the secrets of my old life were mine to keep. Trust me for a moment longer. I beg you.
He must think I am unable to understand, or he doesn't care whether or not I do.
Ido's researching how to tap into their power. The kid's thorough, I'll give her that.
I am ashamed of my cruelty. Of the things I did. The people I hurt. I thought I left it behind.
Learning the truth is difficult, but the sharpest pain comes from the fact that he didn't tell me earlier.
And don't worry about giving me my cut, Captain. It just felt nice to be a good guy again. Trust. I'm sure they'll work it out. Folks have a way of putting aside their differences when the world's at stake.
While I did study with the Awoken Techians, gunplay was never a part of the syllabus.
So, let me get this straight. Mithrax has Aramis at the end of his sword, and then nothing? I mean, nothing?
I will not become the hypocrite that my father is.
But the old Mithrax is still within me, and now he has hurt my daughter. I have hurt my daughter. I must set it right.
Boom, 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 boom.
I was aware he had a past, but in a way, Aramiskel showed me who my father is today, and who he sees when he looks at me.
If you and Aramis are not the only ones searching for the relics, I fear this is beyond my control. I must ask for the gift of your patience. I will find an answer. I will.
Now me? I took one look and knew those things were bad news. Gave me a little shiver.
I will not place my own feelings above our mission. I am proud of the progress we made together. Thank you for including me as part of your crew.
While you're gone, I'll gather some accoutrements no budding captain should be without. Flashy, not my style. It's safer in the shadows. Funny where owing a debt to Drifter can get you, huh? And let's keep the details of my ignominious rescue between us. No need to thank me, Guardian. I only ask that you keep my wanton generosity to yourself. Mithrax seemed none too pleased about that. I wonder why. Like you Guardians do. Like my dear boy Crow. Like Mithrax, pretending his old life never happened. Seems like only yesterday I was in the Tangled Shore, trading in Seraphite and Phase Glass. Now then, it sounds as though you're off to cross swords with Aramis and the old crews. Good of you to visit, Captain. Now, I'm nestled in the bosom of the Traveler. Oh! Eventually, someone claimed the bounty on poor Arrakis. He called himself Spider. Oh, he's changed a bit over the years, but the old fury is still inside him, somewhere. Seems like only yesterday I loaned you my ship, and now you're known across the system. I learned that long ago from a handsome young fellow named Arrakis. He served the old crews for a time, got double-crossed, spent the rest of his life running. Guardian, it's been a while. It's best he not forget that. I think you've got the steel for it. Now go show those pirates what happens when they cross Spider. I'll tell you what, my friend. I'll let you keep using my ship while you go digging for secrets. I have a reputation to maintain. Savvy? Cast in the past, bought a future. Walked away, reborn, and never looked back. And, may the light provide. We're asking the whole Vanguard to collect treasure from around the system and bring it back here. Teamwork, Guardian. Don't be selfish now.
Bring me everything you can get your hands on. All right, nezarec, I'll take it from here. Guardian, this is nezarec, and I require your assistance. I am close to a breakthrough with the relics of nezarec, but I must concentrate, and there are civic duties that cannot be neglected. I think we can make this place sparkle, but only if we all chip in. You get me? nezarec has trusted me to allocate the funds to improve the last city, starting with the eliksni quarter. He knows I've got a head for business. Guardian, you claimed piles of valuables from the pirates. Now it's time to put it all to good use. I must ask that you work alongside someone with experience managing a community.
I know Ido's pissed because her dad didn't tell her about it. Makes sense, but it don't shake me.
I fear that Aramis may seek... Pay me no mind. The old crews fought and died for these relics, believing they could bestow power. We must end this now, before something happens that cannot be undone.
Watch your opponent, but watch your back, too.
As the Guardian Credo states, devotion inspires bravery, bravery inspires sacrifice. I told him plainly that I will not be sheltered.
If we can stop Aramis from finding the last few relics and killing us all.
I did find, however, a transmission from Aramis to Ido. It was embedded in an unsecured scribe log. You may have heard it.
Glad I caught you, Guardian. I didn't want you setting off after Aramis without a little warning first.
Raise arms against these pirates and discover the truth for yourself.
You've been cutting a swath through those pirates out there, but don't get complacent.
But Ido shuns me. She studies the coordinates of the pirate layers without my assistance. I have never seen her behave this way. Guardian, I thought the eliksni had moved on from such senseless brutality. It seems I was mistaken. There are pain truths in our history. I should have told her earlier, before all this. It is an object pulled from eliksni legend, and I fear it is not the only one of its kind.
Guardian, as you prepare for your next voyage, know that I will continue to assist in the conflict against Aramis.
I do not know what Aramis gains in speaking with Ido. We know the ship stealer only acts to her own benefit. But I must learn before I can teach, and for that I need time. The very power the great machine withheld. A word can do more damage than a blade, and Aramis is skilled at wielding both. And a request, please, as a favor to me. She is brave and curious, but does not yet understand the brutality of the world.
You're going after chunks of a dead disciple of the Witness, and you've almost got 'em all. That's some serious juju. So, get on that.
Use them if you must, but remember that you are a guardian, chosen by the light. Guardian, we have new readings. Aramis's fleet moves across the system, pursuing relics of power. Summon your crew. Claim the final reliquary and finish this conflict. May the light provide.
Whatever he does will show us just what kind of person he is.
That is why Aramis enlisted their help. She seeks the relics, and pirate legends hint at where they may be hidden.
Mithrax used to be a bad guy. Can you believe it? Wait till I tell Crow.
Some mistakes must remain in the past.
Recognized these relics the first time I saw one.
She will see that in time. She must. Unless she has already made her choice. For that, you will require a star chart and a captain's atlas.
What's that look? You don't survive as long as me without being able to smell trouble. And honestly, kid, you stink of it.
He explained he wished to shelter me from the violence displayed by Eremiskel's crews.
Well, after Eris. She gave me some ideas that might help Mithrax use these things for good.
Guardian, I greet you in the light, and yet I feel adrift in shadow. Aramis has awoken, and has summoned the old crews to aid her. Disrupt Aramis's crews, and stop her from collecting the relics.
Which reminds me, long time back, I found myself at the 4th tomb of Nezarec.
The unspoken line that follows is why I will remain on the radio.
Ido believes Aramis will follow the rules of her people. I am not so trusting.
That's why I needed you involved. Ain't nobody I trust with that kind of power more than you.
Guardian, you are close to securing the last relic of Nezarec, and we near the end of our mission. Spider had these antiques in his collection. I hope that she ignores Ido's request, but if she does not, know this. Aramis does nothing that is not to her benefit.
Hey there, hero. I heard you parlayed with Aramis, and she hit you with some heavy truths.
Regrettably, it falls on you to stop them. Aramis cannot be allowed to claim the powers within. If she does, all will fall to corruption. She sent a message to Aramis. She invoked a ritual from the old crews, words with empty hands. Should Aramis accept, I would ask that you accompany us. In the meantime, continue the fight. This may be a ploy, and we must not be fooled. Do not involve Ido in your violence against the old crews. It is a type of parley where no violence is permitted. Guardian, Ido has taken action that may endanger us all.
Now, we must continue to pursue the relics Aramis seeks. Board your ship, and let us begin. I had words with Mithrax concerning his recent behavior.
Ido and I studied the artifact you claimed from the pirates, and it emanates pure darkness. I have noticed no further communications between Aramis and her crews. I hope this means the worst is behind us. And if her task is at the command of the witness... Aramis chose to ally with them for a reason. They know the stars in a way even House Salvation does not. I cannot place blame solely on Aramis's influence. My actions pushed Ido away, though I meant only to protect her.
Mithrax, he's just a fella who done something he ain't proud of. And that I understand. The stakes are high. That's when folks tend to get unpredictable.
You must find them. You must. These pirates, brutal remnants of our past, are not.
I said one does not protect by forbidding exposure. There is no safety in ignorance.
The time one brave ghost single-handedly defeated a Vex Mind and a legion of headless ones. There must be some very powerful hive around here somewhere. Let's hunt them down, Guardian. Some legends say that the Exos lost in this sector were sent by Rasputin on a secret mission.
Understood. Seek out and destroy their leader before their magic proliferates any further. All right. You two have fun.
But having seen the hive magic at work here, I'm not so sure anymore. Good work, Guardian. The sector is clear. That's the power of legends. They live on inside us, and in spooky haunted laboratories. I've never slept before, Is it really so good that you turn homicidal without it?
They're flaming pumpkin eyes? I thought they were headless.
Most people think they were hallucinations, but some think they were the headless ones. If those aren't long-dead miners reanimated by paracalls of magic into pumpkin-headed monsters, I don't know what are.
Guardian, Glint tells me that you fought the headless ones. I thought they were just a legend.
But something tells me there's more to the headless ones than just hive sorcery. In fact, my calculations indicate a 99.22% probability that we will never encounter the hive here again. Yeah, they've got really good loot. The magic that powers these summoning circles probably comes from a mighty hive boss. We're totally safe now. Totally, completely safe. No, it can't be. It's the headless ones. And they're angry! We can confirm that, Ikora. This place is filled with hive summoning circles. The Vex mind that haunts this facility must be around here somewhere. Happy Festival of the Lost, Petra! Those poor miners couldn't sleep, and they suffered from terrible hallucinations. If the Vex really drove the Exos mad, then your incursions into the Vex network are even more impressive. It's the headless ones! It's the headless ones! All the old stories are true!
Guardian, hidden reports indicate a strong hive presence in your sector.
During the Festival of the Lost, sometimes the answer is more mysterious than the mystery. Without your ghost, you'd be long dead and forgotten. Or worse, an evil pumpkin-headed monster. Thanks for saving me from certain doom, Guardian. Some legends say that when the moon miners discovered the anomaly, they disturbed its evil slumber. Let this mission be a reminder, Guardian, that the only revelation waiting for them was the Vex. Be on guard against any thoughts that seem vexing. I know you can't resist a fresh summoning circle. Legends say they were driven mad by a Vex mind and removed their own heads to escape it. The Exos were killed, and their bodies transformed into headless ones. There's lots of stories from the Golden Age about the miners who went missing here, like a certain faction head who shall remain nameless. Be careful, Guardian. There's a strong Fallen presence in this sector. Let's take out their leadership so another fire team doesn't pay the price. Find them and take them down, Guardian, before we end up with pumpkin heads ourselves. After that, explorers started reporting encounters with strange headless monsters. Let's hope you have the same luck against the Vexed Mind haunting this sector. Hey, Ikora. We're stalking malignant entities of unknown origin called the Headless Ones. Legends say that the Exos removed their own heads to escape, and their bodies transformed into headless ones. Maybe you should take a quick nap after this. We better take out their leader before we leave. If the Fallen captured me, who would sing Crow to sleep? Whatever they were searching for, they found the Vex instead. That was close. I thought the other ghosts were pulling my shelf laps with their stories, but now I'm not so sure. Eva says they turned on each other, and something transformed their bodies into headless ones. But we're never truly lost, as long as we have each other. If you ask me, the dark magic that created the headless ones came from the hive. These must be the headless ones. In very clever disguises. There's also reports of guardians disappearing in the area. That's the end of the headless ones. I hope. But something tells me they'll be back. I figured it was rude to ask.
Oh, you're chasing the pumpkins again.
Guardian, I hear you're taking some time off to recharge.
Boy, this will make a great story in my collection of legends and tall tales. And they were all murdered by a group of fallen, just like the ones up ahead. The other ghosts say that if the headless ones capture me, they'll force me to resurrect them. Great work, Guardian. Our victory over the hive will stop the spread of their magic. For now, when the Exos arrived, the Vex hacked their minds and drove them to madness. They're filled with loot! Records show that a team of Exos disappeared here long ago. Hey, Petra. Not really. We're battling the headless ones on the moon. As it turns out, their pumpkins are filled with loot. Don't let them escape. Thanks for letting me tag along, Guardian. I'm collecting spooky legends, and this is exactly the type of field research I need to turn them against each other. And now their headless bodies roam around, doing the strange artifacts' bidding. I appreciate your company on this lore-finding mission, Guardian. The more data we collect, the better. A new ritual circle is active. I wonder what it summons. Some legends say that the Headless Ones were guardians, just like you.
Guardian, what's your status?
Chase after them! Probably with new, very attractive heads. And now the Guardians' headless bodies roam around, trying to snatch up new ghosts, like me. The Festival of the Lost reminds us that the universe is full of scary and forgotten phenomena. Some say they turned into terrible headless monsters. I'm glad we got you Guardians to protect us, and that the Guardians had ghosts, just like me. Since I've been with Crow, I've learned to give the eliksni the benefit of the doubt, as well as stories of terrible headless monsters lurking in the shadows. I heard about this place from the other ghosts. They told me I should investigate it for my research. Rumor has it that long ago, a fire team was captured here and beheaded by the Fallen. If Crow ever lost me, he'd probably do the same thing. Stand in the summoning circle. Maybe something friendly will come out. The Vex mind that supposedly conquered the Exos is probably still here somewhere. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't want to find out. Legends say that the Headless Ones are endlessly searching for their lost ghosts, with a little help from his Guardian sidekick, of course. But be careful, Guardian. Any Fallen allied with the Headless Ones must be tough. We need to take out the Fallen leader before we can put our research to use. Maybe we finally found the Exos who disappeared all those centuries ago. Happy Festival of the Lost, Guardian. After the anomaly was discovered, miners began reporting strange creatures roaming the area. When the Exos got here, the Vex were waiting. They twisted the Exos' minds, driving them mad. The headless monsters are real! Rumors say that the Exos who went missing here were spurred on by dreams of a machine tower, calling to them. They're real, Ikora. I stared right into their big, flaming pumpkin eyes myself. We better keep researching, just in case. Part of what drove the miners mad was a terrible, incurable insomnia. Maybe you can ask them what happened to the Exos before you destroy them.
I don't even know why I called.
I don't know if these are the same Fallen that killed those old Guardians, but they're plenty mean. But given how many times this group has tried to kill us, I think it's safe to consider them hostile. Fallen. Legends say that the Headless Ones were created by the K1 anomaly.